The video is called Be Content, Create Content, and Consume Content, right? And this is basically my philosophy, and it has become clearer and clearer with time, you know. Thankfully, I have also developed friends who like this philosophy and who is in different ways live this philosophy. And I truly believe that it is the philosophy of the masters. All right, they may not have put it in such a way, and hopefully, I put it in a way that can convince you of what exactly these people are trying to say. All right, so on the image, on the DP of this live, you have Krishna, Jesus, and the Buddha. They're all smiling and they're just like creating the world. And by that I mean, what I'm basically trying to say is that there is no God. Yeah, that is the basis of it. There is no God. But what did they tap into? What truth did they tap into? Did they understand that was that important? Okay, what did they understand about God? And what was their essential philosophy? They all said a lot of things. And I think most of those things were answers to questions. There were questions posed to them. People were trying to understand what it is, what they are. And the basic postulate was God. Yeah, the basic idea was that God exists and God has created us all. And the questions were God related, hence things became about God. But all of these three were simply results of existence. Okay, existence simply is. Let's compare it to a piece of bread. Okay, and the bread exists for some reason, and then mold comes on the bread, and the mold realizes that it is a part of the bread, it is an extension of the bread, and that mold becomes conscious, and that becomes Jesus, Krishna, and Buddha. That becomes these three people who realize that life is simply play. All right, it is all a play of existence. Now let's look at it at the physical level. It is light. There is light. For whatever reason, light existed. The waves of light go this way. Yeah. Then after that, atoms came. So atoms started looking back at themselves. Now there's a whole different theory around that. But basically, if you look, an atom, even subatomic particles are not really touching each other. All right. And then there's the string theory that all of those subatomic particles are made of strings. Yeah. So if you look carefully at life, it is just a big game of energy that is being played. It's all energy. Yeah. So basically, there's just a whole bunch of energy. And what is it doing? It's playing around with itself. It's trying to understand itself. Okay. It's trying to, at some level, let's say, it's trying to understand the truth, okay, about itself. And at the worst level, it's just playing around. It's there. It's energy. It's existence. It's life. Right? Now, what do I mean by be content? When I say be content, it means you just have to let go of everything. Your ego first, your goals, your thought processes, okay, your will to live, if at all, and aims, goals, everything that you want to do, your timelines. First, let go of it. I don't mean don't follow them. That's a different issue. But let go of it in your mind, okay? And once you let go of these things in your mind, the pressure goes away. When the pressure goes away, what happens is you start becoming content, okay? Content within yourself. You start feeling a joy, you start feeling a happiness because all the nonsense is taken away, okay? Then, this is a process. Then you you create content, all right? So what happens is you are still in the world, yeah? You're still following timetables, you're still doing things. Only thing is, you're not taking them seriously. So Buddha famously said that before enlightenment, carry water, chop wood. After enlightenment, carry water, chop wood. Yeah. He says, don't change what you're doing, but you just realize that is all nonsense. Yeah, you're carrying the water, sure, you know it's a bunch of atoms and it does not have any significance. You know that you carrying the water is not an important thing. Similarly, you running a kingdom is not an important thing. You becoming a multi-millionaire is not an important thing. It's all the same rubbish. Yeah. So you can do whatever you like, and you can have ambition, and you can build an empire, but don't take it seriously. Okay. And while you're not taking it seriously, you create more content. You create more craziness in this world. Let's say you want to, when you get enlightened at or whatever, when you realize the truth, right? You'll realize it's all bullshit. Yeah. But you're like, why not help others realize it? At some level, you'll feel a level of compassion. So for that, you're going to create content. Yeah. You're going to go out. Let's say like Jesus went out and preached, or like Krishna got made sure that the Pandavas had a war, or that Buddha went out and preached and tried to advise kings, okay, kings and their wives and everyone about various other things. Yeah, these people, you naturally will go out and create content. Why is that? Because you will just say, if I can speak and get shit done, why the hell not? Because what else am I doing? All right, what else am I here for? I'm chopping wood and I'm carrying water, and that's it. That's life. Yeah. So it has no significance. So they were content, then they created content. Yeah. And then the last stage is consume content. And why do I say the last stage? Because all of us consume content, and most of that content is just ego fattening. All right, we are bored, we need a hit of serotonin, we need a little bit of side happiness, we are tired after a work day. All right, but the real content is in life. If you see people ruining their lives completely. Yeah. For example, like I go to a wedding, I know the couple's not going to function. I know it's not going to work out. I know they are both unhappy, even probably during the wedding. I'm just consuming content. Simple. I'm just enjoying the show. I'm eating my food. I'm looking at how people behave, how they pretend to love each other, how they care about each other, and how they pay the guy for the marriage. Oh, thank you for the food. You called us for your marriage, and we'll call you for your marriage. The same rubbish. All right. So it is all rubbish. So when I say be content within yourself, don't take all this nonsense seriously. Create content. All right. That means you go out and the stuff you're not taking seriously, you do it well. You do it fully. You do it enjoyably. Absolutely. All right. Complete passion. Even though, because you know that it has no meaning. Right. And then you consume content. This is the last stage, because if you don't do the earlier two stages, you will just fatten your ego. Yeah, what will happen is when you see people, let's say you go to a wedding and you see people are not happy with each other, you'll see that the couple is going to end up in a disaster. Yeah, there's going to be like a joy within you, and it's going to be a very dirty, slimy joy. Or there's going to be this, oh, I like to see other people's misfortune. But you yourself will fall into that trap one day. Okay, if you're laughing at others' misfortune, it's only a law of physics. It's not even karma. It's just a law of physics. Because if you like others' misfortune, you may not be aware of the misfortune you are going into. And that's where I come to my last point. When even you get into misfortune, just consume content. All right. Look at what's happening. First, be content, right? Then create content. If you realize that you're unhappy, change your situation. All right. And number three, consume the content. When you're just looking at your life, oh, things are a mess. My wife hates me. My kids hate me. My this content. It's just content. Fair enough. I'm trying my best to mitigate it. I'm trying my best to ensure that it does not happen again. I'm trying my best to reduce the number of mistakes. But you will come to a point where you realize that it's all just content. Okay. And as long as you're content within yourself, now these two things are different pronunciations, just by the way, content and content. Okay. When you realize that these two things are go hand in hand, where you don't have an ego, where you don't give a shit about anything, and yet you're just playing, all right, that is life, that is joy, that is being the Krishna, Buddha, or Jesus, or whoever, right? And that's basically what I wanted to say. I hope it made sense. I see there are good questions, so let's begin with the questions. Said hi, hello. Is everyone an NPC? Look, if you're not content, right, within yourself, you are an NPC. Why? Because you're taking your life very seriously. As far as an NPC is concerned, and what is an NPC? A non-playing character. Yeah, a non-playing character. As far as a non-playing character is concerned, the game is a very real game. Yeah, but you're playing it, and you know at some level that you are just playing the game on the computer. Yeah, you realize that how If I die in the game, nothing's going to happen. But if the NPC dies, he's dead. And the NPC has a programmed fear of dying. All right, so that is the definition of an NPC. Most people are an NPC. It's a very good this. They don't realize they're in a game. They don't realize they're just playing with a few atoms here and there. Like, even if you achieve everything you want to achieve, what you're going to do? Just you're going to play with atoms, right? You're going to put some atoms here, and then they're going to put that atom there. All right, you're going to put a few photons here and there. Like, for example, right now I'm playing with photons and atoms. I'm talking to you, right? There are certain atoms that are vibrating here. They're going through the air. They're going through the atoms of the air, right? Then my photons are in my this. So the light is coming on my face. So that's creating the lighting. And then through photons, it is going to you. Yeah, so it's just a game of photons and atoms. Yeah, and you can also say neurons if you like, but neurons are also atomic structures. Yeah, and then there is light within your this, like you have electricity, which is what photons. All right, so it's all nonsense. So anyway, so my point is that in most people are NPCs, right? And NPC, and what is your this? An NPC who has realized he's an NPC is not an NPC. Correct. Because you are not an NPC. That's the true fact. It's just that you do not realize it. Okay, you're just playing, and you're just like, oh, this is so serious. And then suddenly one day you have a moment where you're saying, you know what? I'm the guy at the computer. Yeah, and that's when you become a player. Okay, that's when you become a playing this. You stop becoming a bot, literally a bot. That's why they're called bots. Does quantum entanglement and tunneling have anything to do with human programming? See, it is not just human programming. My point is very simple. All this quantum entanglement, all this tunneling, all the connection of the universe, it's all a part of a game. All right. And now, recently, they found that there is one species of turtle or something that can give birth to another species of turtle. Why are all these things happening? Why do you think these are just glitches in the game? All right, it's a bunch of atoms going here and there. You are taking the biology so seriously that you're like, whoa, science is shocked and that they can do. No, you're just stumbling upon newer levels of the game. All right, and the game, anything can happen in the game. But the truth is that you are the game. All right, if you really want it to be. Science is one way of trying to be the game. All right, the other way of trying to be the game is not spirituality, but just realizing the truth. All right, and if you want to call that spirituality, great. Yeah, you want to call it Vedant, you want to call it the Bible, you want to call it anything else. But the point is realizing that you're just in a game and it's all rubbish, and that there are no real scientific rules and there are no real laws of physics. All right. Yeah, of course, you jump off a cliff, you'll fall. That's a different thing. Because that's all a part of the game. Yeah. But if the rules need to be broken, they will be broken. Now, I cannot explain to you more than this, okay? Because you just have to realize that things are just an illusion and be okay with it. Who cares? Who cares if one type of turtle can give birth to another species of turtle, or a damn lion gives birth to a chimera? It doesn't matter. All right, because science is just a greedy little girl trying to jump around the planet and take as much as she can. And it's just sad, just come out of NPC level and start playing the game. Bro, watch Waking Life film. Okay, I will. If you got a choice, will you learn AI skills? Yeah, why not? I'll learn any skill I can. I'm learning Spanish now. I've started learning Spanish. Why not? Just see, whether you like it or not, right? We are neurons. We are a bunch of neurons, right? At this point, whatever I may say that, oh, we are this and that, and we are the universe. At the core level, you're a bunch of neurons. You're an animal. Yeah. What you have to do is keep your brain alive. How do you keep your brain alive? By creating new neural connections. How do you create new neural connections? By learning new things. And the more you learn about the world, you will see patterns. Like, for example, I know enough languages to say, okay, I know a pattern. Each language has a pattern. Yeah. And once that pattern comes into you, then you'll realize it's all rubbish. It's just a bunch of sounds that we use to, call things out, or to try and communicate, to cooperate, to basically further our grade. And when you come to the crux of it, you'll only come to the crux of it when you learn. Okay. And it also helps your brain. So why the hell not? No matter how rich everyone is going to unalive. I agree. politics is also to be in game. It's a complete game. I think politicians are much more enlightened than the general public. Either that, or they're complete players in the sense of like they've reached the ego level to such a level that they want everything for themselves. Okay. Hey Raf, I'm generally very stoic but have been suffering from some emotional issues. Parents getting older and I love them a lot. Again, love is also a way of the world creating content. Okay. The world is basically content. It's your body which is creating content. Everyone is creating content, right? And my idea is very simple. They are going to get older. All right. First, you have to be content. Why? Because would you rather have, if suppose you're taking care of them, would you rather have a good caretaker who's happy, who's balanced, who's caring, who is strong, or would you rather have a caretaker who is emotional? Yeah, it's simple. I'm not even talking about spirituality. I'm talking about taking care of your parents if you love them. What kind of caretaker would you prefer they have? If you get old, what kind of caretaker do you prefer you have? Someone who's stable or someone who's crying or someone who's having emotions, right? So if you are a good caretaker, take them, eat, make sure they eat well. Okay, eat good food, not Indian food, not curries. Good food, I mean salads and eggs and stuff like that. Then you will take them hopefully for a bit of a workout. Prolong their aging process. Okay, instead of it coming really fast and them suffering, maybe take the suffering a little away from them. That's the kind of caretaker you need to be. And that is why I say, when you are content within here, okay, you go out, you create content, you make them work, you make them eat, you make them whatever, right? And you just observe content, you consume content, because you'll see them being better human beings. This is also all content. Okay, this is also a form of content, just a kind of content that makes you happy. Hello, I study economic honors in this so-called top college of Delhi University and feel bored as shit. The professors and other kids all seem stupid to me after gaining all this knowledge. I can't stand them and find out what to do. Gaining what knowledge? My question is that, see, okay, let's say you've gained all the knowledge in the university. Okay, assuming, what else can you gain from there? You can understand how the professors operate. You can understand the students. You can understand their psychology. You can understand where they came from. You can understand why they do what they do. Okay, that is extremely important. So you have to learn continuously, even in the stupidest of interactions. Okay, remember when an NPC is standing in front of you, he's giving you a reason to not be an NPC. Okay, he's giving you a reason to say, oh, this guy is so stupid. I'm wiser. But the truth is, you're not wiser. You're just closer to the truth. You're just closer to understanding that you're just a game player. Use this opportunity. When you're with stupid people and you have to be in stupid people, just complete your degree. You have 1 year. Complete your degree, man. Big deal. Finish your degree. And if you're such a brilliant student, get me a 95. Okay, get me an A plus. Let's see. It's also easy to say that I'm not an NPC, but that can be a pseudo realization. And you're smart enough to realize whether it's true or a pseudo realization. No, 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 no. You're not getting it. Even that is not the final realization. Okay. Even if you realize that you are an NPC, how do you know that that is the final realization? You could be inside a game, within a game, within a game. Correct. So the only thing is to be aware. The only thing that can be permanent is your awareness and your interest in knowing new things. Okay, because I am not an NPC is again an ego game. Okay, you're just playing an ego game. I am not an NPC. I am not. I'm better than all these people. No, 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 no. You are not. Okay. The only thing you have to do is be aware. Be aware that, oh, tomorrow some new information will come, and suddenly I realize, oh, I'm still an NPC. I'm still an NPC. And then 56 times you'll come to that realization that, oh, I'm still, oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You have to be stoic. Okay. Don't ever come to the point that I'm enlightened. I'm an NPC. I have reached any point in life. It's all bullshit. All right. I'm telling you, it's all an illusion. I can guarantee you that even if I realize I am a player, it somewhere could be an illusion. So you just have to be aware. That's all. Okay. There is nothing else. two different neural networks trained on different data sets yelling at each other is called an argument. Correct. I agree. I had shared this last week, I think. Um, well, yeah, that's it. It's all neural data sets. It's all games. It's all conflict. Look, I am very pro conflict when it comes to the physical and mental. Yeah. When it comes to the spiritual, I feel that there will not be conflict because it'll just be chilled. But there can be conflict in the way of how to reach there. There can be conflict in what awareness is. There can be debate. All right. And all of this is also very important when to reach that point, to reach a point where you say, you know what, I'm an NPC and maybe I can become a player. And then someone will tell you, no, you're not a player, an NPC. This debate itself keeps you alive. All right. So yelling, try not to yell. But debating is everything. It is the crux of consciousness. Okay. Was Sushant Singh Rajput courageous that he left? If you want to think of it like that, you can think of it like that. All right. It does not really matter. Whether it was courageous or whether it was cowardly, should he have fought, should he have not fought, is completely this. I would never probably not fight India, anyone in India, because their thought process is are very like very very different compared to what most sane people think. People in India are largely insane, and even the people at the top, like there is some level of groupism over there. I'm sure there is casteism also, you know. And someone like Sushant Singh Rajput, who seemed very wise, who seemed very smart, could not fight that. I mean, he could have always moved abroad if he really had those many dreams. If his dream was nihilism, then yes, it was courageous. But if he wanted to, I don't know, raise a pony or whatever, as they said, then maybe he should just moved abroad. I'm sure the man had enough money. I mean, how much money do you need to move abroad? So yeah, it's just a question of what you really want. It's not an act of courage, it's simple rational decision. Correct. I agree. It can be a rational decision. I think to understand that life is purposeless also requires intelligence. Hmm. Yeah, it's the main form of intelligence because look, you are an animal, right? And what happens is now we have excess. Now we have houses, now we have food. So our mind and our body is searching for a purpose because we think there is a predator in the bushes. So to get above that is in a way to get above animalism. Okay, I'm never saying you'll stop being an animal, but the idea is to say, okay, it's purposeless. It takes a certain amount of intelligence, 100%. Okay, the more I am aware about things, the more unhappy I become. Well, that's just a stage. There will be a point where you'll be unhappy, very unhappy, then you'll be extremely joyful, and then you'll come in the middle. Okay, everything about life is simply middling. There is no up and down. Okay, what up and down is only outside you. Once you realize who you are, there will be no up and down. It's not going to matter. A wise man will learn more from a foolish question than a fool learns from a wise answer. Absolutely, absolutely. Fools don't learn. Okay, they will not learn. You can try for a while. Don't waste your energy too much. um you can work towards trying to make some fool understand, but a foolish question is of utmost important, because a foolish question is generally not thought of by somebody who's that intellectual, and that foolish question itself could lead to some interesting realization. Do you think something like siddhis exist? I honestly don't think so. In the sense of, see, I'm sure there are some people who can play around with atoms, okay, and some people who can make things disappear and appear. But I don't really think it's firstly, like, the natural laws of physics will not allow it the way things are. And when you reach that level of actually making things disappear, you're not going to want to. So if they really did exist, a lot of things would be very different. But I really don't think, like, why aren't they making, let's say a Siddhi exists, right? Siddhi is basically the guy who has the power to do shit, like make things disappear and get things. So why didn't they steal documents from, I don't know, Iran? Or why aren't they on the side of the US? Or why aren't they side of or on the side of Iran? Or, like, if these things exist, like, we would have seen some proof of them. So my theory is that even if they do exist, they come to a point where they don't want to deal with people. You understand? I believe that only if we have godlike powers, then we are players and not NPC. There is no godlike power, my friend. You are the god. That's it. And it's really as boring as this. All right, god-like powers and all. It's all an illusion, and it's all an ego trip that you're going after. Every act of human endeavor is carbon releasing. Correct. Absolutely. We are just carbon machines, and I have no problem with that personally. No matter what you think or say about Rajput, it won't reach his ears. Okay, fair enough. It won't reach his ears. So who cares? Who cares, bro? 100 years, we are gone. Another 100 years, no one's going to remember us. Chill. think I think it's better to go for a job, eat and sleep without any purpose. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. If that is what you want to do, please do it. But I would suggest that you keep searching for the truth. Keep your awareness. All right. Don't don't depend on just, oh, I'm living a simple life. Keep your awareness. And that's all. And and don't be stupid about it. Like, go work out a little bit. Meet people, socialize. Keep your brain alive. You don't want to live here with a dead brain. It's not a good idea. Chaos is natural. Order is artificially created. Well, mm, I agree. I largely agree that um, most things look chaotic, and what looks orderly to the human eye in the universe is simply a question of chance. Like, it just the human eye looks at it in that manner, and hence it is orderly. But everything is chaos. Yeah, everything is basically entropy. By knowledge, I didn't mean intelligence, but basic common sense, which reading and watching people like you made me realize. But sadly, I don't find such people around me. That's okay. That's okay, Sanskriti. Do not worry about all of that. Not having common sense, there's a reason for it. Okay, and find that reason for yourself. Make your own thesis. Make your own realizations, etc. Yeah, I don't. If you are that smart, and if you have understood what I am saying, then you will automatically come to a point where you're just like, you know what, let's understand these people. And it took me 10 years to really understand you Indians, okay, how Indians function. And and even though I was basically tearing my hair out dealing with these Indians, I said, you know what, let's stay and let's watch them. And then I said, okay, these people cannot be corrected. These people cannot be helped. And then I did whatever I could and I left the country. Yeah. So whatever you think, you have to understand these people as much as you can, because that itself will make you smarter, will make you more aware of your surroundings, make you more aware of where you come from, and most importantly, what you should not do. Okay. These are extremely, is the most important thing. Like 90% of the people in the world will teach you what you should not do. Okay. All atheists are not antinatalists. Okay, who cares? Atheists, yeah, it's okay. Atheists are simply saying there is no God, right? Which is okay, doesn't mean you don't want to have kids. Expectations lead to disappointments. Absolutely. All expectations, all desires. All right. Which is why I say don't have expectations, don't be desires. Don't have desires. Once you're content within yourself, right? Then you create content without this, without expectation, without desire. Krishna said, just fight the damn war. Who cares? Don't worry about the fruit of it. Don't care about who's dying. Just fight the war. Create content. All right. And consume content. Like, enjoy what happens afterwards. Enjoy the results of it. Whatever the results, good, bad, ugly. But the moment you have expectations, you are the content. And that's the problem. Okay. Then you are somebody else's entertainment. Do you think getting respect from society is overrated in Indian society? It is very overrated. People are obsessed with respect, and it is destroying Indian society since the beginning of time. What what do you think of eugenics and critical race theory? Eugenics. So I agree with eugenics personally. Okay, I think the best should be born, and only the best should be born. But then again, it probably does go against the natural order, and it's going to have its own set of consequences. Then you say, who decides who is the best? So it's an endless slippery slope. But it's a slippery slope that I would go down. I personally would make sure that, the best and the most brilliant and the best parents have children. So yeah. Critical race theory, I'm not very sure of it actually. I don't know the entirety of it, but let me tell you what I think about race. I genuinely think that races have genetic divisions, all right, and they have clear geographic disabilities, disadvantages. When you get a man who is from a race that has not created a standing civilization in 10,000 years, yeah, a proper massive standing civilization, you are bound to get a man whose DNA is slightly bad, slightly worse than normal. You're bound to get a man who's not so cultured. You're bound to get a man who's tempted to go towards violence. Why? Because it's only culture and society and shame that can destroy the animal within you. And that, even with the Europeans, took thousands of years, right? And let's say the Africans, they have still not created a large enough, concurrent enough, coherent enough society. uh, it is due to geographic reasons, of course, and there's an excess of sun, which I truly believe diminishes your brain ability. But that's about it. Like it's just the truth. And this not apply to 100% of the people, but it definitely applies to a good 60-70% of the people. So yeah. All right. That's about it. I hope I answered your questions. I'm thinking of going to the Hindi quickly and making a quick video. Do you all have any other questions? Otherwise, I'll just move on. All right. Let us close this thing. I had so much fun. Thank you so much. Uh, and thank you to my top fans. Ooh, Sanskriti Singh, KPR, Nirjar Sarkar. Thank you so much. And I will see you in the Hindi video in about 10 minutes. It's on the channel called Black Sheep Academy. Please like, share, subscribe, blah, 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 whatever bullshit. Bye. See you. Love you guys.